When the message popped up, I thought it had to be a mistake. My ex was apparently staying at our house for a few weeks. Non-negotiable. I stared at the screen for what felt like forever, trying to make sense of it. It was 7:42 p.m. on a Thursday. I was parked in the grocery store lot, mid-run of my usual after-work routine, picking up dinner. At first, I assumed she typed it wrong. Autocorrect? Sarcasm? But the more I read it, the colder my stomach got. I called her immediately. No answer. Then a text came through. We'll talk later. I'm serious. Michael, please don't make this difficult. Emily and I had been married for 5 years. We weren't perfect. No one is. But I thought we had built something solid. She worked as a high school guidance counselor, gentle, empathetic, the kind of person who could make chaos feel calm. Daniel, her ex, on the other hand, was pure chaos. I'd met him once, at the very start of our relationship. The kind of man who viewed every other guy as a rival, even without reason. By the time I got home, my hands were shaking on the steering wheel. I ran through what I would say, calm, measured, mature. No yelling, no drama, just questions. When I walked in, Emily was already in the kitchen, hair up, wine glass in hand, acting like nothing had happened. "You got my text?" she asked. "Yeah," I said, setting down the groceries. "I got it. I just don't get why you decided we'd host your ex here." She sighed like I was the one being unreasonable. "He's having a rough time, Mike. Lost his apartment, no family nearby. It's temporary, non-negotiable." I repeated her words slowly, letting the sting hit. "Yes," she said, "because I already told him yes." The room went quiet except for the hum of the fridge. I looked at her, and really looked at her, and realized I hadn't recognized the woman in front of me for months. "You made a decision for both of us," I said quietly. She crossed her arms. "You're overreacting. You always assume the worst." "No," I said. "I assume the worst in situations that look like this." Her eyes narrowed, the familiar defensive wall rising. "He's not a threat, Mike. You're just insecure." Insecure. That word hit like a slap. She'd used it before in arguments, always to shut me down. But this time, something inside me settled. A quiet realization, the kind that doesn't need shouting. I walked past her down the hall to the guest room she prepared for him. The bed was made, a toothbrush on the counter. She had planned this. Days ago, maybe weeks. My chest tightened. It wasn't just about an ex anymore. It was about respect. Back in the kitchen, she was scrolling through her phone. "I told him you might not take it well," she said without looking up. "You told him about my reaction before you even told me." I said, "Please don't be dramatic," she replied. Something inside me went cold. I picked up my phone, opened her message, and typed the only words that made sense anymore. "No way." She looked up as my phone buzzed. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means this conversation is over. He's not staying here. And if that's non-negotiable to you, maybe we need to start negotiating something bigger." Her lips parted, but nothing came out. For the first time in years, she didn't have an immediate response. Silence stretched between us, heavy, electric, final. I grabbed my keys. "I'm going to my brother's tonight. When I come back tomorrow, he better not be here." She didn't stop me, didn't follow, just watched as I left, her wine glass trembling slightly in her hand. As the door closed behind me, I realized something I should have feared, but didn't. I wasn't angry. I was done. The next afternoon, his car was in my driveway. A dark gray SUV, polished and smug, just like the man inside. I stood there, hand tightening around my keys, debating whether to walk in or keep driving. But this was my house, my life. I wasn't giving it up to someone from my wife's past. When I opened the front door, laughter came from the kitchen. Not warm or genuine, but the high-pitched, forced kind people use to prove something. Emily turned mid-laugh when she saw me. Her face froze. "You're early," she said. "Didn't realize I needed notice." I replied. Daniel stood next to her, the same smug smirk he had the first time I met him. "Hey, Mike," he said like we were old friends. "Hope you don't mind me crashing here for a bit." I looked at Emily. "I do mind. I said. We talked about this. No, she corrected. You talked. Then you did it anyway. Daniel stepped forward slightly, arms crossed. I'm not here to start trouble. Just need a place to get back on my feet. I took a slow breath. Then get a hotel. Emily glared. You're being unreasonable. No, I said evenly. I'm being disrespected. Big difference. We stood in silence. Daniel muttered something under his breath about fragile egos. That was it. I walked past them, grabbed my laptop and a folder from the home office, and returned to the living room. Emily, I said steady, if he's still here tonight. I'm not. She stared like she didn't recognize me. You're really doing this? I'm really done doing this, I said, and I left again. That night, I stayed at my brother's. When he asked, I didn't give details. Just said she let someone else move in without letting me have a say. He didn't push. Didn't need to. The next few days, I ignored her. Didn't answer her texts. They shifted from guilt to anger. On the fourth day, a single message popped up. He's gone. You can come home. I stared, then typed back, I'm not sure I live there anymore. 2 days later, she showed up at my brother's door. Her eyes were red, her hair messy, not the composed, untouchable Emily I knew. He left, she said softly. I told him to go. I made a mistake. I studied her face. For the first time, there was no ache, no urge to fix things. Just clarity. You didn't make a mistake, I said quietly. You made a choice, and so did I. She shook her head, tears falling. I didn't mean to hurt you. I know, I said, but you did, and that's what changes everything. She stepped closer, reaching out, but I stepped back. No anger, no bitterness, just distance, a distance no apology could cross. I'll send for my things next week, I said. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Maybe for the first time, she realized the man she counted on always stay had finally learned to leave. As I walked toward my truck, the late afternoon light hit the street just right. The kind of glow that makes endings feel softer than they should. I got in, started the engine, and my phone buzzed. A new message from her. Can we talk? I typed the same words I had the night everything changed. No way. I put the phone face down, shifted into drive, and pulled away from the house that used to be ours. For the first time in years, I didn't look back.